Well, good evening, or good morning, or even good afternoon, whenever you are seeing this. I'm going to do it very quick, and I'll probably cut. This may be a two-part video because, I buy a lot of different things and knives, and I literally got something today that I said, I don't know what this is, and I don't know who it's from. And it just came in. Oh, very, very nice. This is my very first KATSU. So we're gonna do a full review on this guy, and I'm going to stop the video so I can sit back and do the review just as real life works out. I have company over. We're going to watch a football game. I was not. Okay, we're back, and it is another day. I told you guys this would be a two-part review. It is morning where I am. Good morning to you. I had some coffee and got my KATSU. This is the KATSU FB03. Which they call it the the Modern Kennata. Very nice packaging, See, it's a magnetic box, very robust. Modern Kennata sheath, G10 handle. Looks like XDD04OLB2HR. But again, KATSU looks like a Kydex sheath with an ulti clip. And there's the knife. Nice G10 handle. And again, like I said, nice packaging. Very firm in there, and that foam molded. This is a stout feeling blade. Let's put it right here. Let's take a look. See, okay, and it's kind of dirty. I'm gonna have to clean the blade a little bit. So we have right at a 6-inch cutting surface on the blade, about 7 inches with this large finger choil. Full tank construction, lanyard hole and lanyard slot. You can consider this like a breaker or something like that. Full tank construction with you may or may not be able to see, but this is pinned. This guard is pinned in there. The guard itself looks stainless, but I'm not sure. This knife is an AUS 8 steel. More budget-minded steel, but AUS 8 for a long time was not looked down upon as anything bad. I think in a way people have, especially the American audience, has gotten really into the super steels, the particle metallurgy, the CPM, the powdered steels, and those are awesome steels, but they are the price point is such that it makes it, for a large blade like this would be, this knife was I think it retails for about 130 bucks. There was a coupon, so I got a nice little discount on it, but it is a, I'm trying to really clean that edge because that's a pretty good blemish on the edge right there. I don't know what from, but it looks like it might just be some packing residue or something like a piece of tape or something, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to clean it up really fast. Sorry. And we'll get back to the review. So, this is a Modern Kennata, is what they bill it as. A Kennata is a traditional Japanese knife or tool that has a straight edge, you know, thick back. It's a utility style type knife. Is more of a sort of if you could say a Japanese hunting knife. That's what you were looking at with the Kennata. My editing skills are not up to snuff. If they were, I would try to find a picture of a traditional Kennata just to show the difference. But you can research that if you're just interested in Japanese cutlery. And anyway, okay, that is much better. Looks good. Looks a little scratch on the blade. I'm not too persnickety about that. Not right now, at least. Just get that around the guard. So here we go. So all in, you know, we have total length of the blade right at 7 inches. The total length of the knife is just over 12, and if you include this guy, it's going to be more like a 12 3/4, and it's a nice smooth G10. One quick immediate thing, and this is a personal preference with me. The hardware, yeah, you know, this is probably Torx 8 hardware probably, but if you can look, it is not flush. Hardware is a little on all sides, it sticks out, which it's kind of a little pet peeve of mine. It's very smooth, so it's not terrible, but just so you know, and we'll do the whole. So it is I will say this is a fabulous looking knife. Very heavy. The weight is obviously forward on the blade. Got a new scale. That old scale I had to hit the button too many times to actually get a weight. So we went with a new scale, and we'll see how she does. So this is 1 pound, 2 ounces, so 18 ounces or 511 grams. So a big boy. With the sheath, with the sheath, we go up to 1 pound 6.7 ounces. So that, you know, 24.7 ounces. Stout. Let's do the old shake test. Okay, she failed the shake test. And she stabbed me in the thigh. Awesome. That stabbed me pretty good in the thigh. Sweet. That was the first, and I had someone warn me just recently on the comments, be careful when you do that shake test over your desk. You are correct, sir. Well, that is disappointing. I was shaking it pretty darn hard too. So, what we'll say is, okay, and let's just look really fast. This is this Ulti clip. It's set up for a vertical carry, belt carry. Because of the way it is, there may be, yeah, it's not really gonna adjust too much. It's you know, with this being over a pound, it's almost inevitable that it's going to fail a shake test like I did. I'm not excusing it, but I'm just pointing that out. You know, and my thigh hurts. That was a good one. But it's not bleeding, so we're not gonna complain. Comes with the territory. So let's look at the blade after that. Nice little swedge here. It's kind of it's a clip point style blade. It's got some you know, the it's a Japanese knife made in China, and I think there's some you know, some different Chinese influence on it, but this knife's been out for about a year, a little over a year, with this big thick spine, and we'll break out the calipers. Let's see how thick she is. Right at 5.5 millimeters. It's a big boy. So 5.5 millimeters is a little bit shy of a 1/4 inch. It's not quite a 1/4 inch. 2.15. So, you know, when a lot of people think of overbuilt heavy-duty knives, seems like the 1/4 inch is a standard spine width that just screams sort of heavy-duty. So again, black G10. The G10 scales are very nice looking and very comfortable. What I'll say about the scales, they're very smooth. They have some grippiness to it, but the ergos on this are very nice. Now, if this was a little rougher, like more of a micarta ish, or just a rougher G10, I think I would like it better. But what saves it is the ergos, because this is locked in your hand. You know, there is a good feel of this knife in the hand. That's why I really like the knife. And as you can see, the profile knife, that aggressive, forward leaning, you know, you could think about a kukri a little bit, but it's not. It's obviously not a kukri, but it, you know, you could see that forward sweeping action, the heavy. This is a chopping knife, you know, that it is aggressively made to chop. You could stab with it. It will, you know, because of the design and this clip point, just extending the hand, you're going straight in, straight line. So it's a stabber and a chopper. You know, what can I say about the knife? It's if you're going to use this for, I think you could use this as a Asian style bushcraft knife. You could. These spine, sorry. That's the thing with this very shiny, you know, very well polished blade. It shows every smudge, every fingerprint. So, you know, and in a tactical scenario, it's going to show you. It's going to be bright and shiny. So, if you were to use this at nighttime, I'd maybe put something on it to at least dull the shine. Sorry, it's been a long night. So the steel, the AUS 8 steel on this guy, gonna be really easy to sharpen, put an edge on. You know, it's it's not a super steel. You know, it's AUS, you know, it's a Japanese steel, and the you know, it's stainless, which is cool. You know, typically this is 58 to 59 Rockwell hardness. So it's gonna be, like I said, stainless. It's gonna be resistant to a lot of the elements, and it's gonna be it is going to be relatively tough and also very easy to sharpen. That's a big positive. Got a new polishing cloth by Flitz the other day, and my other one is just full of stuff that needs to be washed. So one more time fussing over this knife, because it is a pretty knife, and we want the presentation to reflect just how pretty she is. So anyway, for those who are interested, I'll put the actual steel composition of AUS 8 in here, but it, you know, it's 0.75 carbon, 14% chromium. That's where you're going to get your stain resistance, your stainless characters. The molybdenum molybdenum, 1%, which is going to give it some strength. It's got manganese in it, right at half percent. Manganese is going to be tougher. It's going to make it tougher. They used to use manganese on engine blocks, for high performance engine blocks. It's got little phosphorus, little sulfur, some iron, and silicone. So that's the makeup of AUS. It's, you know, going to be one of those things that is easy on the budget. It's going to be a real nice balanced steel. If it gets dull, it's not going to take you long at all to put a fresh polished edge on there. You know, the Japanese, they have an AUS 10, a VG 10. Those are a little bit higher end steels, but it's you know, this there's so many of the Chinese steels and knives now, the 8CR13s. This is a superior steel to that. It's close, but it's a bit better. You know, this is kind of a yeoman steel. It does everything you need it to do. So, you know, one thing we haven't said is how sharp it is, and it feels extremely sharp. And I have some bits of paracord here that will just, yeah, I mean it. I didn't even have to saw on it. It cuts very well. The feeling of the knife is really nice, but again, like another knife I have that I recently did a video review of, these heavier knives, you have to weigh the task and estimate how long the task is going to be in order to figure out if you're going to use a knife like this. What do I mean? This knife is over a pound. It is heavy. This is a heavy knife. It feels nice, but you know, the weight of the knife, let's see, it is, well, the balance is sort of right in that. It's right. Well, it's definitely heading towards the front of the blade, but there's a lot of weight in this handle, but it sort of needs it, because if you look, the blade wants to chop. It wants to go down, which, you know, with this huge belly, it's not a surprise that way. You know, my friends who like Bowie knives and things like that, this is, you know, you could start calling this, looking at this guy like a Japanese Bowie, but with that sort of arcing shape. It's like a Bowie and a kukri had a baby, and here we go. So, overall impression, this nice looking knife. Ergos are splendid. Points, shake test. Failed the shake test after a really rough shake. But in a vertical carry, like so in the sheath, I don't think it'll jiggle out. It was tight enough. So, you know, I wouldn't carry a heavy knife like this inverted. Just not gonna be very good for that. There's room for paracord attachments if you'd like. You can move, you can, you know, position the clip in other areas. I think it is where it needs to be currently. There's a drain hole in the sheath. Drawbacks, that's one, the shake test. Second one, and this is a personal thing, the hardware should be flush. It's just, you know, that's an unnecessary hot spot waiting to happen. But to be fair, you can barely feel it, but you can feel it. If you're using this guy for a long time, I think that is a potential problem. But again, that's my preference. It's not sticking out a lot and it's very smooth, fair enough. The G10 scales are nice. Like I said, the ergos are great on this guy. The G10 is very well done. I'd like it to be a little less slick, but again, with the ergos, it doesn't feel slick in your hand. It just, on inspection, when I touch it, I said, oh man, this is kind of slick. So that's what we have to say about the KATSU Modern Kennata. This is a solid B knife. I'd get it again. I like the knife. It's got a good basic steel, and it feels good in the hand. So, you know, I think those things overcome the failure of the shake test and the hardware. But you know, anybody else have KATSU knives? I've talked to some guys, and they're not familiar. You know, some, I think KATSU is sort of making its presence known in the knife world and knife community. I'm looking at a KATSU folder. I don't have it. And it's funny, the folder is actually, I think, a CPM 335 V. So much more expensive as far as the steel goes. Smaller knife, but more expensive. Go figure. We'll probably do one of those in the future. But for now, I think this is a solid entry for KATSU in the fixed blade game. This guy is choppy and stabby and nice and sharp. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribing, please subscribe. We're still growing, getting a few more subscribers every week. Pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed it again. And until next time, remember, life is hard. Don't complain. Take care.